Hello, Team AWS. My name is Saurabh Dwivedi. I'm a BTech CSE student at Lakshmi Narayan College of Technology, Excellence, Bhopal. My community experience include I'm a founder and lead Google Developer Student Clubs LNCTE Bhopal. I'm a Beta Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador. I'm a CII YI Student Chairman leading and presenting the entire college. I'm a Google Cloud Facilitator, Tier 1 status for the entire college. Apart from this, I'm a full stack developer and major project contributor at Girl Script Summer of Code. Today, I'll be explaining you one of the important services of AWS, that is Amazon S3. So let's get started with the same. Before continuing, let us know what is the agenda for our today's topic. We will be introducing with what is AWS S3, then the core concepts, storage classes, S3 security, and the use cases. So let's get started with the introduction of Amazon S3. What is Amazon S3? S3 stands for Simple Storage Services. The name itself suggests that it is used for the storage. Now, what sort of storage we will be seeing further. So, as I discussed earlier, that stands for Simple Storage Services. Now, it is an object storage services in a folder structure provided by Amazon Web Services. What does object mean? Object can be anything. It can be a folder, image, text, blob, multimedia, or whatever you can say. So S3 is used for storing such kind of things. Now S3 was the first services of AWS which was introduced in year 2006. Now the main features of S3 are scalability, data availability, security, and performance. Now let me tell you what is scalability. Now for this we need to think of a scenario. Suppose you have developed an application, a web application which is working, and you have allocated 5 terabyte of storage for the same. Now all of a sudden your application grows and it required the more than 5 terabyte of memory or the storage. At that particular instance, what the first step that you will take? So for sure you will go to Amazon AWS and you'll ask to extend that, but it can take a lot of time. So scalability means you will not be asking Amazon S3. You can set the particular parameters that in such condition, if you need to increase your data storage, then you can all of a sudden increase that without disturbing the user experience. So you can understand scalability means if you require at particular instance, you can increase the size. Then comes data availability. Data is 24 into 7 available in the S3. Then comes the security. AWS S3 gives or guarantees the 99.99% of safety and security. Then comes performance, data fetching or data storing or data retrieving. All these things makes very simple, faster and easier in S3. Now comes some of the use cases of what are S3 use cases. It includes data lakes, cloud native application, and web application that we will be discussing further in this video. Now let me explain you the most important, the flow of how the data is stored in the S3. So this is the diagram which you can easily see, and let me explaining you from the left to the right. So this part, as you can see, this is the database or the server part. This is a part where your data will be coming to the S3. Now this server can have multiple type of data. It can be analytic data, it can be log files, it can be application data, it can be videos and pictures, it can be backup or archival. So this sort of data is going to S3. Now how it is going? It is going in the form of objects. Now what are objects? Objects storage built to store and retrieve the amount of data from anywhere. So object is something, this is the inclusion of all of these things in the form of object that will be further going to the next part, that is called bucket. Now what is bucket? The name itself suggests bucket is kind of a container. Now let me give you a very what is the storage of bucket. So each storage of Amazon S3 bucket have 5 terabyte and we can have 100 bucket at the time. So 100 into 5 is the total. The 100 into 5 terabyte of storage can be allocated to the Amazon S3 buckets, or the overall storage that we can say. Now what a flow is, that this is the server and the data is kept, then it is going in the form of object, then the object is stored in the bucket. Now further what we can do is we have to create a bucket, specify the region, access control. So these are the things that we'll be seeing in the UI part. Now bucket itself has the various features, and let me explain you with the flow. So the number one feature that it promises is the control access to data. Now what does it mean? That your data is accessible to everyone. if you want. Now it can be of two type of thing, two type of categories are there. It can either be private or the public, it depends on you, but it act as authentication between user and the person who is going to use. So control access to data means simply and kind of authorization. Then comes the optimized cost with storage classes. Storage classes we will be discussing further, but before that you need to understand what is optimization of cost. There are many instances where your storage can be wasted. So to avoid that, and to use data efficiently and to reduce your cost, optimized cost is kind of feature that is installed pre-installed in it. So the third one comes at the replicate data to any region. Now what does it mean? So let me explain you with a very good example of this. Every company like an Amazon, AWS, every company has various regions where your data centers are located. Like for an example, AWS has its data centers in Mumbai or the Hyderabad. Suppose you are from Hyderabad, you have created a web application and you have put all your data in the Hyderabad region. Now your market grows, your web application grows, your business grows, and your customer grows. Now initially your customers were from Hyderabad, so they do not require much of time to get the request to the server and back to the client. This takes very less time and very less latency. But when it comes to a user which is very far from Hyderabad, for example, he is located in Delhi or Mumbai. Now, in this case, the latency will slightly come into the frame. So, for that, you can replicate your data to the Mumbai region as well, so that people from all over India can easily access it. So, this is the best way where you can make your business grow faster, smoother, and reduce the latency. For that you can, and replicacy is not used only for this purpose. It is also used for a time being your data is crashed on one server, so that you can, just to prevent a kind of a backup, you can store in the multiple regions as well. The fourth one comes access from on-premises or VPC. Now VPC stands for virtual private cloud. You have access from on-premises and virtual private cloud as well. So this is the two functionality that is provided. The accessibility is provided by the buckets. Then comes protect and secure. As I mentioned earlier, it gives you 99.99% of security. It promises you that your data will be secured and protected. So this is the best feature or the best security feature by Amazon AWS S3. Then comes gain visibility into your storage. Now what does it mean? It means a kind of a monitoring of your database or the storage. How? It means that you can see how much amount of data is used, how much is left, and it is just like a monitoring system and nothing other than that. So this is also a good feature. Apart from that, it comes up with the various other feature, like as I mentioned, that gain visibility into your storage. This facility is provided, but this you have to do manually. But if you want to set up alarm kind of stuff, that suppose you want that whenever your database is full with the 5 terabyte, I get informed, you can use AI code or AI things to fit into it, or else so that you can get alarmed when alert whenever this certain condition are fulfilled. Now this can be done with the help of Amazon as AWS also, or with the help of third party also. So these are sort of things that you can do, and this is the overall structure how S3 works in terms of storage. Then comes a few other things, like what is bucket. So as I mentioned earlier, bucket is nothing but it is a container to store objects. And what are the objects? It can be a log files, it can be multimedia, name, text, log, whatever. Then comes bucket can be considered as a general purpose file system, just like your computer system, so easier. Then comes what are objects. So as I mentioned once again earlier, that objects are the contents that you are storing inside your buckets: media content, JSON files, CSVs, jars, SDKs files, and the maximum capacity will be 5 TB. 5 TB for one bucket, and there are 100 buckets. It means 100 into 5 terabytes of storage. Then there are various ways of accessing the content from S3. Now what are these? The number one is using the AWS console. AWS console is kind of a UI framework, UI stuff that is provided to you by the AWS system itself, where you can do it manually without writing any sort of code or link. Then comes by URL. By URL means this URL is in the form of HTTP. Then there is a domain name s3 amazon aws.com. Then this is the very important thing, bucket name and object name. Now one thing to note down is the bucket name has to be very unique. I mean, If for example my bucket name is Saurabh's bucket, then the other person cannot use this name. Why? It prevents from, you know, replicating, or it is kind of an IP address, like it has to be very unique so that anyone can identify just by your name. Replicacy or duplicacy or the deletion or any sort of security measures, to avoid that we use the bucket name as a unique thing. You can consider it as like an Instagram username. It can, a single username can be very unique and no one can replicate it. So this URL looks like this: bucket name and the object name. So the third method is to access content from S3 is by programmatically. So this is the S3 client or the my object that has been created. Boto 3 is a sort of a library, I think, that is made using the Python. The code is very simple. The main thing is the inside the get object function, you can see get object method is called, where bucket and bucket name is called key, and the key will be provided by the AWS itself whenever you're creating these sort of things. So this is the way easier. There are three ways to access. Number one, as you have seen, using the console or the UI part. Then comes the URL. Then comes the programmatically, right? Then comes the storage classes. As I mentioned earlier, what are the storage classes? Storage classes are simply the instances which are provided by the AWS. Initially there were no multiple classes, but now you can see 8 classes. I'll not be explaining you much about this because this is very simple, and storage classes are used for particular instance. I mean, you can as you know that the service, the AWS service, give you an option of pay as you go service. So according to that, you can use these buckets or these services or these classes, so that your data is not wasted, your storage is not wasted, and cost cutting is done accordingly. So the number one is S3 intelligent tiering, then S3 standard in infrequented access, S3 standard IA that is called. Then come S3 glacier instant retrieval, S3 glacier flexible retrieval, S3 glacier deep archive, then S3 one zone infrequent access, that is S3 one zone IA, then S3 outpost. So these are sort of classes that are provided by the AWS to you in terms of S3. Then comes S3 security, the most important. So when we talk about Amazon S3, the security part, the accessibility can be of the two types. It can be publicly or it can be privately. So by default it is private, not public. Publicly is blocked by default, but if you want to give access, in most of the cases you actually don't want to, but if you want to share the resources with others, you can make it public as well. Then comes the data protection. The data is highly durable, availability guarantees. As I mentioned earlier, it can be available 24/7. Then comes encryption, the most important, and it is considered at rest. Access and resource-based controls with AWS IAM. It stands for, IAM stands for Identity of Access and Management. Now, this is a kind of authorization layer that has been created to authorize a user whether he is deserving or non-deserving, or kind of a hacker who is trying to gain access. Then comes auditing, accessing logs, action-based logs, and alarms, as I mentioned earlier. Then comes infrastructure security. Infrastructure is built on the top of AWS cloud infrastructure, so no need to worry about that. Then comes the use cases where the S3 services is used most of the time. So data backups. Data backups can be done on the periodically level. It can be done monthly, daily, yearly, weekly. So data backups is one of the most important use case. For the best example, you can see your WhatsApp is giving you a pop-up alert every time when it is when it is on, that do you want to store your data backups yearly, monthly, weekly, or daily, or you want to switch off. So this is the best use case. Second one comes website hosting. We all know, we all are web developers, not all, but most of the cases, or the Android developer or the web developer, so it is the best use case for the website hosting. I must come to the conclusion that S3 is the services which is used for storing the things in the form of buckets. Each bucket has the capacity of 5 terabyte, and there can be 100 of bucket, which means 5 into 100 terabyte of storage can be stored in the one, for the one user. So this is all from my side. Thank you for watching till the last.